Welcome once again to Arthur Brown Photography. Today I want to talk about lighting. As a photographer, I tend to favour natural light. If I can use the light from a window with or without a reflector, or if I can work outside if the light's not too harsh, I prefer to do that. When it comes to taking still photographs, I do use flash sometimes. I did have quite a sophisticated studio flash setup, but probably had it for 10 years and I used it 2 or 3 times. So I sold it all and I bought a couple of speed lights and quite a large battery powered studio flash, a Godox 600, which is useful because it's portable. I don't need to be tied to the mains. When it comes to video, again, I do like to use natural light where possible. I mean, today I've got a room which is painted white, which reflects nicely, and I've got a window to my left-hand side, which I'm lucky that the house I live in at the moment seems to have fairly good natural lighting if the weather's good outside. However, there comes a time when it's dull, or it's in the winter, or I'm making videos in the evening or at night, when some artificial light is required. I'm not a great lover of LED panels, because I think they give rather a harsh, stark light. But what I've been using is this large fluorescent type softbox. Now this is a large softbox, and inside it's got an array of ES27 sockets, and it takes 4 of these large curly fluorescent bulbs, and I can either have all 4 on or just one bank of 2 on, depending on the light intensity that I require for the video. Now, this is okay, but these bulbs to me always look rather fragile. I'm frightened of breaking them, because I'm sure I read somewhere that they contain some fairly nasty poisonous powder inside them as well. So, plus the fact they're heavy and unwieldy. So I either thought that perhaps could I replace them with LEDs, and then I could have retain the utility of having the large softbox, which gives me a nice soft diffused light for video work, but have a bit less weight and slightly more manageable bulbs. The curly fluorescents that are in my system at the moment are rated at 135 watts, but that's 135 old watts, as it were. So I really struggle to find some high-powered LEDs that had ES27 screw threads on them. But I did find some that were rated at 15 watts, which I think is probably around about 100 watts in old money. So I'm going to give these a try. These are much more compact bulbs. They're lighter, smaller. They're not going to break as easily. And at about 6,000 K, they're not too far from daylight when it comes to getting a good colour balance on the video. So I'm going to insert these into the lighting unit, and we'll have a go and see what kind of illumination it provides. Oh, here's the larger bulb in detail, and here's a smaller LED bulb, 15 watts. So it's quite a bit smaller, and here's the 2 of them together to show the relative size of them. Now I have a light meter on my iPhone, so I took a reading from the larger bulbs to 4 times 135 watts, and then I took a reading from the 4 smaller bulbs, which are 4 times 15 watts, and it would appear that the larger bulbs offer about 1 stop more of light, which is not totally significant really. The strange thing I did notice though was that in both cases the colour temperatures of both sets of bulbs were overstated by about 500k. So the 135 watt fluorescents were rated at 550k, but actually measured in about 5100. And the LED bulbs were rated at 6000k, and they actually measured in at about 5500k. I think from this experiment I can conclude that the LED bulbs really are bright enough for additional lighting, for video work, for good enough for YouTube, and I think the lighter weight of the units will make things a bit easier. I must admit, the one thing I did say I worried about was breaking those large fluorescent tubes as well, so they can go back into storage now for emergency use in the future, and I shall be continuing to use the LED lighting now whenever I need it. Well, I hope you found this useful, I hope you've enjoyed it, and look out for my next video. Bye from Arthur Brown Photography.